Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina held bilateral meetings with several world leaders, including the Ukrainian President and the Dutch Prime Minister, on the sidelines of Munich Security Conference MSC 2024 on Saturday. The Prime Minister held a bilateral meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at Hotel Hof in Munich this morning. During the meeting, the Prime Minister said Bangladesh is always against any kind of war. While briefing, Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said both leaders discussed various issues, including how the Ukraine-Russia war can be stopped as well as how aggression can be ended in Gaza. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said war can never bring good luck for anyone. Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, Foreign Secretary Masood bin Momen and Secretary of Prime Minister's Office Mohammad Salah Uddin were present during the meeting. Earlier in the morning, the Premier held a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, at the conference venue. During the meeting, Sheikh Hasina said the Netherlands is a great development partner of Bangladesh. The country is keeping vital roles in implementing the Delta Plan as well as dredging. The Prime Minister urged her Dutch counterpart to increase investments in various sectors in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, during her meeting with Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina emphasized on reducing dependency on other currencies, including dollars, by increasing trade between the two countries with their own currencies. Indian External Affairs Minister Jaishankar hoped the relationship between the two countries will be strengthened more in future. Later, Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, Lord Cameron, paid a call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at the same venue. During the call-on, the leaders discussed how the relationship between both the countries can be accelerated. The Prime Minister called upon the UK Secretary to boost his country's investment more in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, German Federal Minister for Economic Cooperation and Development, Svenja Schulz, called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina earlier in the day. The Prime Minister urged German entrepreneurs to increase investment in the ICT sector and the special economic zones of Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina said her government will allot separate places for German businessmen in special economic zones if it requires. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina held a bilateral meeting with President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev at the same venue. Later, the Prime Minister held another bilateral meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz at the conference venue. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood briefed reporters about the details of different meetings of the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in Munich.
মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর সাথে ইউক্রেনের প্রেসিডেন্ট ভ্লাদিমির জেলেনস্কি সাক্ষাৎ করেছেন। ভ্লাদিমির জেলেনস্কির পক্ষ থেকে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর সাক্ষাৎকার চাওয়া হয়েছিল, ফ্রেন্ডশিপ টু অল ম্যানেজ টু নান, এবং সেই কথাটি ভ্লাদিমির জেলেনস্কির সাথে আলোচনায় প্রাধান্য পেয়েছে। এবং মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী সবসময় বলে এসছেন আমরা সমস্ত যুদ্ধের বিরুদ্ধে, এবং আজকেও মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী জেলেনস্কির সাথে আলোচনার সময় কিভাবে যুদ্ধ বন্ধ করা যায় সেই বিষয়টি বারংবার আলাপ করেছেন। মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী যেটি বলেছেন, যুদ্ধ কারো কল্যাণ বয়ে আনে না। যুদ্ধের সময় যে সমস্ত দেশ যুদ্ধে লিপ্ত হয় তাদের জনগণেরই ক্ষতি হয়, এবং যুদ্ধ কারো কল্যাণ বয়ে আনে না। হয়তো অন্য কারো লাভ হতে পারে, কিন্তু যুদ্ধরত দেশগুলোর কোনো কল্যাণ বয়ে আনে না। একই সাথে সেখানে আমরা এ বিষয়টিও আলোচনা করেছি, শুধু রাশিয়া ইউক্রেন যুদ্ধ নয়, কিভাবে গাজায় নিরীহ নরনারীকে হত্যা করা হচ্ছে সেই যুদ্ধটা বন্ধ হওয়া দরকার, এই বিষয়গুলো আলোচনা হয়েছে। অনেকদিন পরে জার্মান চ্যান্সেলরের সাথে বাংলাদেশের মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর একটি বায়োলেটারাল মিটিং হয়েছে। অত্যন্ত হৃদ্যতাপূর্ণ পরিবেশে এই সভাটি অনুষ্ঠিত হয়েছে, এবং মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে জার্মান চ্যান্সেলর পুনরায় প্রধানমন্ত্রী হিসেবে নির্বাচিত হওয়ায় ইতিপূর্বে অভিনন্দন জানিয়েছেন। আজকে সেই অভিনন্দন আবার পুনর্ব্যক্ত করেছেন, এবং দুই দেশের সম্পর্ক আরো দৃঢ় করার ক্ষেত্রে বিস্তারিত আলোচনা হয়েছে।
Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said in order to address the effects of climate change, there is no alternative to fair and inclusive adequate funds for developing countries. He said this at a forum on tackling climate change titled Cause and Effect in Germany's Munich on Friday evening. The function was organized on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference. The Foreign Minister said funding for developing nations is decreasing, whereas adequate funding is necessary to cope with global climate change. Dr. Hassan Mahmood went on saying that Bangladesh is a unique model in the world in addressing the climate change. Mujib Climate Prosperity Plan is a top initiative in this regard, he added. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chowdhury has said Bangladesh is now self-sufficient in food through the sincere efforts of the farmers under the direction of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She said this while inaugurating the Family Nutrition Garden exhibition at Pirganj Upazila Porishad Auditorium in Rangpur today under the project to set up family nutrition gardens in the courtyard of uncultivated fallow lands and homesteads. Pirganj Municipality Mayor ASM Tazimul Islam Shamim conducted the function, while Speaker's husband Sayyid Ishtiaq Hussain, Pirganj Upazila Chairman Nur Mohammad Mondol and Acting President of Pirganj Upazila Awami League Nurul Amin Raja were present. On the occasion, seeds of high-yielding vegetables along with perennial hybrid lemon, malta, mango, guava saplings were distributed among 403 beneficiaries. Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Rubaidul Qadir said extremism was born in the country at the patronage of the BNP. He said this at a press conference at Awami League President's office in the capital's Dhanmondi today.
তারা 15ই আগস্টের পর 3রা নভেম্বর কারাগারের অভ্যন্তরে জাতীয় 4 নেতাকে হত্যা করেছে। তারপর 21শে আগস্ট 2004 সালে শীত সন্ত্রাস সৃষ্টি করেছিল, গ্রেনেড হামলা চালিয়েছিল আমাদের সভাপতি শেখ হাসিনাকে প্রাইম টার্গেট করে, যেখানে 23টি তাজা প্রাণ ঝরে গেছে। আমাদের 21,000 নেতা কর্মীকে তারা ক্ষমতায় থাকাকালে হত্যা করেছে। এরপর মির্জা ফখরুল হঠাৎ এক বিবৃতিতে কোথা থেকে পেলেন আমরা নাকি হত্যা ষড়যন্ত্রের রাজনীতি শুরু করেছি। তিনি আমাদের উপর এখন এটা উদুর পিণ্ডি বুদুর গাড়ে চাপাচ্ছে। দেশে বিএনপির চেয়ে বড় উগ্রবাদী কারা? উগ্রবাদী তো তারা। কেন এ কথা বলেন না ফখরুল সাহেব যে দেশে উগ্রবাদের জন্ম হবে, সে উগ্রবাদী রাজনীতি তারা শুরু করবেন, তাদের কথা মতো না চলবে। সরকার আত্মশক্তিতে বলিয়া।
Regarding gunfights inside Myanmar borders, the Road Transport and Bridges Minister said Bangladesh is making diplomatic efforts for peace, ignoring war.
বাংলাদেশ প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনার নির্দেশে আমাদের ফরেন মিনিস্ট্রি, আমরা আমাদের যে দায়িত্ব, আমরা ওখানে একটা সব পক্ষের গতিবিধি লক্ষ্য করে সেখানে যুদ্ধকে পরিহার করে আমরা শান্তির জন্য, সমঝোতার জন্য একটা ইন্টেলিজেন্ট ডিপ্লোমেসি আমরা প্রয়োগ করছি।
Awami League Organizing Secretaries Mirza Azam, Abu Sayyid Al Mahmood Shapon and Shujit Roy Nondi, Office Secretary Barrister Biplab Borua, among the central and metropolitan leaders of the Awami League were present at the press conference. Now international news. Martin Griffiths, head of the United Nations Relief and Humanitarian Aid Agency, said that for them, Hamas or resistance fighters are not terrorist organizations, it is a political ideology. He said these things in an interview given to Sky News, the Israeli media. The Times of Israel has given this news in a report. Israel has recently insisted that Hamas will not be part of a future Palestine. When Martin Griffiths was asked for his opinion in this regard, he said that it is very difficult to remove these organizations without any discussion because the organizations represent the hopes and aspirations of the local people. Martin Griffiths posted on social media X clarifying his statement. In the post, he said, "Just to clarify, Hamas is not on the United Nations Security Council's list of terrorist organizations." Israel strongly criticized these words of Martin Griffiths. Meanwhile, Gaza's largest functional hospital in Khan Yunis remains under siege by Israel troops, with reports of medical staff being beaten and aid being blocked. US President Joe Biden said he hopes Israel will not make any massive land invasion of Rafah. Israel's attacks on Gaza have killed nearly 29,000 Palestinians and wounded nearly 69,000 since October 7, 2023. A man shot dead 12 of his family members and injured 3 others on Saturday morning in the southeastern Iranian province of Kerman. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency reported that the incident occurred at 4:30 a.m. local time in Faryab County when the armed man opened fire on his 2 step-brothers and their family members in 2 houses. Ibrahim Hamidi, head of Kerman's Justice Department, said the man used a Kalashnikov rifle to kill his family members, including his father. Ukrainian troops have withdrawn from the eastern city of Avdiivka to avoid encirclement, Army Chief Alexander Syrsky has said, marking the biggest change on the front lines since Russian forces captured Bakhmut in May last year. In a Facebook post on Saturday, the recently appointed Syrsky said he had acted to preserve the lives and health of servicemen, stabilize the situation and move troops to more favorable defense lines. A day earlier, the Ukrainian commander Alexander Taranovsky said Kiev's forces had withdrawn from same positions in the town. New positions have been prepared and powerful fortifications continue to be prepared, taking into account all possible scenarios, he said in a statement on social media on Friday. Avdiivka has been pounded by the Russians for months. The 16th day of the Omur Ekushi Book Fair witnessed a large crowd on holiday. Shishu Prahar special hours dedicated to children has captured the attention today. Children were seen busy choosing books with their parents. The live performance by the Sesimpu team, a famous educational children's television series, among others, was the key attraction for the children. Sesimpu's popular characters Halum, Tuktuki Shiku and Ikri entertained the children. Guardians said they brought their children to the Shishu Prahar to introduce their children to local culture. Every Friday and Saturday, Shishu Prahar starts at 10 a.m. and continues till 12 p.m. News on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain dry with a temporary partly cloudy sky over the country. Night temperature may fall slightly and day temperature may rise slightly over the country, said the Met Office. News on sports. Fortune Borishal beat Sylhet Strikers by 18 runs in the first match of the day of BPL in Chattogram today. Earlier, Mushfiqur Rahim's 52 and Kyle Mayer's 48 runs helped Borishal to score 183 runs for 6 wickets. In reply, Sylhet were knocked out of the match after losing 6 wickets for just 40 runs in the bowling of pairs. At the end, Sylhet's innings stopped at 165 runs, losing 8 wickets. Kyle Mayers was the man of the match. India took a lead of 322 runs against England at stumps of the third day of the third test in Rajkot. At the end of the day, India scored 196 runs for 2 wickets in the second innings. Earlier, in reply to India's 445 runs in the first innings, England were all out for 319 runs. The 5-match series is level at 1-1. To end the bulletin headlines once again. Stay vigilant all so that none can disrupt development journey of Bangladesh, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at civic reception in Germany. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hold a bilateral meeting at Munich in Germany. Bangladesh identified as a unique example to the world in dealing with climate change, says Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Extremism was born in the country under patronage of BNP, says Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir. Hamas, not a terrorist group, it's a political movement, says UN Relief and Humanitarian Affairs Chief Martin Griffiths. And Fortune Borishal beat Select Strikers by 18 runs at first match of the day in BPL in Chattogram. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our 11:30 p.m. Bangla News. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.